We should be able to see it in both of us here.
Take one.
Take one. Hey guys, what's up? It's Pat here from Mountain Sledder. With me is my friend
Dave Norona.
Dave Norona. Hey, we're doing a little ride and Q&A, kind of trying something out new here. So Dave and I are going to rip around. We're talking to each other on these Cardo communication systems, and I'm going to ask him a few questions, and he's going to give me some answers, and hope to entertain you all. So it's a beautiful day up here, and there's lots of nice things to look at. So even if our stories aren't good, you might as well enjoy the scenery.
Yeah,
what do you say, Dave?
It's breathtaking out here. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful day. All right, let's go for a little rip. We're just going to rip around in this meadow up here and kind of enjoy the views for a little bit.
Sounds great.
Okay, buddy. All right. Follow the leader, I guess.
I'll follow you.
Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, what a beautiful day. Coming in on the trail, it was really cloudy, and we were starting to think like, oh, maybe we're not going to get some nice light today, but oh yeah, this is beautiful. We're here in the Canadian Rocky Mountains in British Columbia. So first question, I guess, what is your favorite mountain range to ride in?
Oh, that, when you mention British Columbia, I think I'll ride in any mountain range, and I'll enjoy riding in each and every one because they're just so different. And they go from round to sharp, you know, young and old mountain ranges. And what I really love is just an epic background. Like what we're looking at right now in the background, and it's super, you know, it's sharp, it's steep, and you just, you know, it adds to this where you are, right? The whole ambience, if you will, of sledding.
Yeah, I agree. A beautiful scenic background is definitely high on my list.
And we don't want to leave the Americans out because there's so many mountain ranges there, and but it's totally different, right? We'd right now be at 13,000 feet, and we'd be like looking down on a dry valley and just have an epic view. So it doesn't matter where you go; it's different, and it's always rad.
I want to give the viewers a bit of a view here of the mountains right behind us. That's what we're talking about. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. If you can't have fun up here, your fun pass is going to be taken away.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. It's super fun to go and explore new terrain and new zones, and I really get a big kick out of that too. Okay, let me ask you another question. What are you riding on this year? I see you got an expert right there that you're on today. What's in your stable?
Today I'm riding my favorite sled. It is a Ski-Doo Summit Turbo 850 175 with the expert package. And I love this sled because it does everything. It turns wicked, it climbs wicked, I can sled ski from it, and I can sleigh deep pow. And that's my favorite thing to do. But I was also this year, if people noticed, I don't know if they will, but I got to ride, and my first sled that arrived was the Summit Freeride 165 Turbo. And boy, I love that sled. It is so fun to ride, and well, you really gain in the suspension, that's for sure. You know, where it helps me is more on the trail because I'm not a huge jumper, but there is significant things to the Freeride that make it a great snowmobile. And but if I prefer one sled, like if I got one sled to ride for the rest of my life, it would be this 175 Summit with expert package in the Turbo, or how we like to say it, Turbo.
Yeah, it kind of brings that out of you, doesn't it?
It's just the way it is.
There's really not another good way to say turbo.
No, you gotta yell it. Are you over by Theo? Because Theo's
I'm right behind you, buddy.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know wonder I can't see you.
That's right. You got a bit of a pow dust happening here. I'm going to catch up to you if I can. Whew. Hey, that's a fun little gully. Hey, I'm taking the free ride just for that little move right there, I'll tell you.
And you know, when we talk about the new Summit, what I really like about it is that 34 front end. And it's one of those things where everybody was a little bit skeptical about it, but once you ride it, there's no going back. You know, ask anybody who rides a 36 front end if they'd go back to a 38, and the answer is no. And
yeah,
so
there's a reason it's gone in that one direction, isn't there?
Yeah, and you know, one thing that I thought I would notice the 34 as being not as good in lots of places, and actually, where I thought it wasn't going to be good, I'm going to do a little bit of a donut right now.
I see you donuting.
Where I thought it wouldn't be good, it was really good. I didn't think it'd be good on the trail. I thought it'd be too tippy. And
yeah, well, you know,
wasn't.
these conditions today are probably perfect for that because we do have this little bit of fresh, dry pow on top, but underneath it's pretty firm up here. You know, there was a lot of wind and a little bit of a crust underneath, so I can see that thing really playing nicely in these types of conditions, especially.
Yeah, but one thing it really is that just pointing and being able to pick your way through stuff, right? So
look at you going, making it easy.
Well, and just be precise. Like, I have very little input in the snowmobile right now, and that's really great because it can take anyone from a new rider up to a really good rider and just make them more precise, which is, I think, what it's all about.
Yeah, anytime you can make the sled easier to handle for everyone, you know, I think that's a win, personally.
I think it's the magic of what Skidoo creates is the sled has to be made better for the newer rider, and everybody benefits. If you make it just good for the top 10%, the majority suffers, and it's not something that's going to last or work well. And that's really with anything. And so I'm glad Skidoo is sort of on board with that sort of same demographic.
Well, I think making it easier to ride, I mean, like you say, that's going to be better for everyone. That's what I appreciate. I want a sled that I can handle and kind of take and go where I want to go, but I'm not going to be all that tired at the end of the day because I'm not fighting all day.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it's getting dark down here already.
Oh yeah, and colder, eh?
Much colder, yeah. You can feel it as soon as you get down here.
When you always want to use the word over after you finish talking. Over.
Well, it's good radio etiquette. So, Dave, okay. Earlier today we were riding along trying to get into a little zone, and you know, we came across a lot of debris from a big wet slide over last weekend over the trail, and that stopped us in our tracks. We had to make a plan B. So that kind of got me thinking, you know, you've been doing adventure racing for 30 years. You all over the world. You've been a lot of places and been out in the backcountry a lot. What's like, you know, the biggest sort of emergency or problem that you've run into in the backcountry, whether it was like sledding or doing an adventure race or whatever in your lifetime of those activities?
Well, that's a good question. Well, you know, I don't like to be over dramatic because I'm still here, so obviously I haven't died yet. I was very fortunate in all the racing that I did, as although people called it crazy. You could die, but it wasn't from falling out of the sky like how so many gnarly guys are on their sleds, etc. Oh yeah, nice, buddy. But the scariest for me was I did this race in Alaska. We cross-country skied across Alaska from Anchorage to Nome, across the Iditarod Trail. And I was with two other guys, and on one of the nights out of McGrath, about 9 at night, we got separated. And it's about minus 30. You're out there. You know, you're actually pretty warm, but you're not wearing a lot of stuff. And we got separated. I went back to see if they were there, and they weren't. So I sort of went my own, and it turned out that we just kind of got separated. We're in our own little, they went one way, I went the other. But for a while there, it's like you realize you're in the middle of the Alaska, no one around, no one really to save you, no one knows where you are, and it's a little scary. So we had a couple of nights like that. We also crossed the Bering Sea ice when it was minus 50, stuck in a storm for 3 days. So, you know, like
You're
today,
probably still cold from that.
yeah. So to answer your question, you know, I think why I love sledding, I think why most people love it, is the adventure. It's not always perfect. In fact, it's rarely perfect. And that's what makes it perfect. So you got to work with your buddies and you got to plan things. And I think that's just why I love sledding and getting outside and, you know, chasing whatever's next, right? And
speaking of scary, we should turn. I've got the camera turned here so everybody can see this big slope behind us, and we're in the run out of it. So.
Well, you just described it perfectly. It can be really easy to sneak into an area that you think is mellow, which this is, and be faced with something that, if that went from the top, it would. You can notice there's no trees around here in the bottom for that very reason.
It would be devastating. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, what? Should we play here a little bit longer?
Yeah, let's get stuck just over there. No, let's keep cruising on. I think it's probably the prudent thing to do.
I love it. Yep.
But you know, we've got good stable conditions today on it, playing on our side, but no point risking it, right?
Totally, and this is why you go with buddies, because when you're, I'm sometimes, like, everybody can be a little bit of haywire, and when the conditions look good, boy, it's good to have someone in your group to remind you of, hey, look there, we probably shouldn't go any closer, and maybe move a little bit further away.
Yeah, that's right, and that can kind of play out two ways. You know, on one hand, you might have extra voices that are making good decisions or calling things out, as long as the group is comfortable communicating all that stuff, because there is, you know, the possibility or the risk of, you know, I think they call it like a cohort risk or something like that, where nobody wants to stand out and say like, oh guys, I don't know, this doesn't seem safe, because then they stand out or they look, you know, bad or cautious or whatever. So yeah, that can go both ways for sure, but having a buddy system when you're sledding, always. Especially on these machines, man, they're so powerful. I'm wheeling here, I don't want that thing coming back on me, and I'm stuck underneath it, no one around, so.
Yeah.
You stick with me and I'll stick with you, bud.
If there's one thing I could add to your statement is our sport is full of ego. Don't be that guy, because you're going to end up dead. And always listen to your buddies.
Yeah, that's right. Always listen to that buddy that's saying, I don't know, guys, even if it's just a gut feeling, I don't feel good about this, or...
Yeah. If you ride, as we do, with lots of women rippers, they're the best at it. They are so much better at a gut feeling and saying something and stopping that you always want to listen to them. They're just smarter, and they have way less ego, and they really listen to how they feel, and that's, I think, really important, and it's what you have to do in the mountains if you want to spend your life in the mountains.
Yep, absolutely. You know, having confidence in your crew and knowing that the guys that, you know, your life is at stake, and it's depending on the guys that you're with. So, you know, you want to ride with guys that are making smart decisions and have your back, and, you know, voice speaking up when they don't feel comfortable. And, you know, I'll say it, there's guys that I've ridden with in the past that, you know, I'm not rude about it or anything, but I just don't want to really ride with those guys because, you know, I've been felt to feel like pushed out of my comfort zone, and I don't want to feel that way. My risk tolerance is pretty low, and so I want good people around me that are on the same page, and we're making good decisions together.
I totally agree. And you know, people think if they say, hey, can I ride with you, and we say sorry, no, that's like an elitist thing, and it has nothing to do with that. It's that I'm riding with the people I trust, and I don't trust anybody until I ride with them or know them well. And it doesn't mean that we say no to everybody. It just means that's the reasoning behind it. And it goes way back to bike racing. We didn't just invite anybody because you're riding inches away from somebody and you want to know how they ride, right? So same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a while to build that trust, and you know, even while we're riding around here, we're not going far, and keeping an eye on our buddy Theo, and he's right here with us. There he is, coming along, and he's keeping an eye on us, and we're all just being smart about it. So, hey, yeah. Let's head on back up into the sunshine. Hey, boys, what do you say? Let's warm up a bit.
Love it.
Well, you know, we're in virgin territory here, and I thought I remembered a way up here, but I don't know. This is experimental, so we are just kind of poking for now.
All right. I love it.
Yeah, this is the good stuff. Oh, I think I maybe see an old track here up this little creek draw, so yeah, let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, somebody definitely got stuck and turned around here.
Now you know why they're up here, eh?
Not this guy though.
Oh yeah, not on that 154 free ride turbo there.
That's right. Oh, we got a little bit of a creek crossing here. Oh yeah. Well, this is a weakness that we. Oh, what do we got right here?
Oh, nice. Look at you go.
Skid trail, boys. All right, we're in business. It's like your ear is touching my mouth, like I'm licking your ear.
I didn't think it would take this long to get dirty.
Yeah, but it's really. We got through 3 questions and we're into the dirty stuff. Speaking of the dirty stuff, okay, Dave, tell me about yourself and the missus. No, just joking. Okay, tell me, Dave. I want to know. Let's do some do talk, buddy.
Okay.
How's your after hours do talk special program going this year?
Well, the After Dark with Dave is actually really awesome. We've had a bunch of really cool people on, which is what it's all about. And we're about to have more cool people on, and that's what it's all about, is bringing people that are in the biz, in the sledding world, in to sort of discuss lots of cool stuff.
Let me ask you, who has been your, because you've done this you did it last year as well.
Yep.
Started, I think, during the thing that shall not be named. But who has been your favorite guest, and what person would you really love to have on the show? And don't say me, because I'd be awkward.
Well, you know what? And I'm not doing this to be nice, but I like every guest because they're different. For me, the spice of the difference is what life's all about. So I want as many different people as I can, and I love having people from Skidoo on, because the engineers, and like we had Matt Tandrup from design.
From design, I saw that. Yeah.
People just don't get to talk to Matt. You know, I had guys asking, "Can you give me his phone number? Because I got some design things."
Yeah, I bet they do.
Of course, everybody always, but you know, the people that are kind of untouchable, and they're not untouchable in any way, shape, or form, is willing to, you know, tell people what they can talk about, which are projects that are out. So they're not unreachable, but I'm just so lucky that I live on both sides, right? I'm like a consumer who gets to go inside the mines and the factory of Skidoo and bring that to everybody else. So I'm the luckiest kid on the block, man.
Yeah, well, you know what, I'll tell you, I really enjoyed that episode with Matt, and I see that as one of the perks of my job, is that I sometimes get to meet the people who work at these companies building these machines, and just they're really interesting people, and they know a lot, and I love just picking their brains and just learning more about sort of, not really like behind the scenes or anything, but you know, how do you guys come up with these ideas, and you know, where do you draw inspiration from for design? And I don't know, everyone that I've ever met working for these companies has just been very down to earth and open and honest and willing to engage on and talk about these machines that we love. And it's just it's a great conversation to be talking to someone who's knowledgeable about them.
You know why? Is because they love them. And that's the only reason it gets done. I've worked with over 50 companies with sponsorship in my 32 years. And I have, not saying anything bad about any company I've been lucky to work about, but BRP is by far head and shoulders above anybody else as the most passionate company I have ever been involved with. And that goes from the janitor who sweeps the floors to people like Matt Tandrup who helped his team designing these amazing snowmobiles that we get to ride and, you know, rip through the bush like we are right now. That, you know, would take a lot of effort to do before, but now, you know, we just, wow.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been riding this zone for probably close to 20 years now. And I'll tell you what, man, we didn't come, like, this is not technical terrain.
Yeah.
But we did not come in here on our old Summit ZXs, you know, and have a good time anyways. We came in, but it was just a battle a lot of times, depending on the snow conditions and everything else. But, man, we can just rip around in here now and see parts of this area. You know, that creek that we just came up, oh man, it's been, I don't even know if I've ever come up there, or if I did, it was a long time ago, but like, now you just look off trail and see, like, oh, well, that looks good, like, let's just go there and do it with some confidence, right?
Remember the day where you had to plan? Like, how are we going to get out of here? We better plan for that. Now you just go in.
Now you're just like, oh, well, there's an exit there. Oh, this creek is looking steep, though. I don't want to get too far in there. You know what? It's one thing to shred in the trees, but it's another thing to ride when you're having a full-on conversation with somebody.
Oh yeah, oh, look at this. I just found some fresh snow. So.
Yeah, you did. Okay, Dave. I think I got one more question for you here.
Yeah.
We said we'd do 5, and I think we've probably done maybe that already. I'm not sure, but. Let me ask you about the boat life, because you are a proud boat owner, and it is an ocean-going vessel, as I understand.
Yep.
Tell me about the boat life, buddy.
Oh, dude. You know, people call it one-foot-itis or whatever. Boats are an adventure, both monetarily, but really, why I got a boat is my family. We got a young 5.5-year-old. And she is the apple of my eye and my wife's eye, and we get to hang with her every day. I mean, that's the best part of my job, is I get to spend most of my day with her. If I'm not sled skiing or sledding in the morning, I come back and we go riding, we go skiing, we homeschool, and we're going to do that on the boat. And it's I think, one of her favorite things, which is why I got a bigger boat.
Sounds like the family version for adventure, you know, like sledding on water.
Yeah, you know, I used to do a ton of dirt biking and trials riding, and I e-bike a lot, which is awesome. But they're kind of solo adventures, and my wife rides, and she's an awesome athlete. But really, the boat is for all of us, and we hydrofoil off it. We have an e-foil. We're gonna camp. Dude, it's like I'm taking this boat on a sledding adventure, it almost seems like. And that's what I love about it. I'm gonna let you hit that, and I'm gonna watch you from afar in case something happens.
Yeah, I'm not going too far, but I just wanted to wrap up our little ride and Q&A here with a little bit of a view for the folks of just what we're getting into here up in the Alpine. But we got Mount Gerald back there. We got beautiful sun, late day sun, blue sky, clouds. Oh, Mount Gerald's over there. I'm confused, but you know what I mean. Like, let me give you a little 360 of the area here. Just get a nice little taste for what we're doing right now and how awesome this is.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, I want to say big thanks for coming out on our maiden voyage of riding Q&A, and it's been a lot of fun chatting with you and riding, buddy.
Oh, dude, it is. I'm so lucky, and I'm so lucky we have people like you in the sport that make the sledding world go round. From the magazine to photos to getting out with everybody. Dude, this is what it's all about. And getting out with your buds on a day like today and having a good time.
Yeah, couldn't say it better myself. This is what it's all about. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You made it all the way to the end here. So thanks for that, and stay tuned for our next, maybe we'll do another one of these sometime. So long.